Sunnahfollowers, protectors of the Sunnah. Sunnahfollowers, protectors of the Sunnah.
Ina alhamdulillah wa salat wa salam ala wa rasulullah. Just before we begin, to remind everyone, I did post up a memo. Dr. Asim has had to cancel his class today, so we will be doing my class instead. And what I'm going to do is give you guys a quiz over what to discuss, what we discussed yesterday: innovations in politics and innovations in regards to the Jamaat Tablighee. Okay. All right, so let's put the quiz up on the screen and let's get started. Okay. And I want to see some good answers today. Everyone look at the screen. And of course, when you answer my questions, I want you to give explanation. In other words, I want you to explain your answer. And let's look at the first question here. Muslim society is founded on democracy and justice for all. Is this statement true or false? Again, Muslim society is founded on democracy and justice for all. What do you guys think about that question? Is this question true? This statement true? Or is this statement false? Is this statement true or false? Hands up. Let's see who's going to answer. Hands up, or I'm going to start calling on you. Okay, Sister Jamila, go ahead.
I'll try. The answer is false. It's an innovation. Because there is a separation between church and state. Politics should not be in, oh no, we're not talking about politics already.
Muslim society is founded on democracy and justice for all. In other words, is our society based on democracy and justice for all? True or false?
All I can say is false. Got it mixed up. I'm sorry.
Okay, let's see. Anyone else? Who else has an answer? Why would you say it's false? What's false about the statement?
I don't know. I was thinking about politics should not be in the Muslim society, but it is in a way. So,
okay, this is not really politics. This is not a political question. Okay. It's just a question asking, is our society as Muslims based on democracy and justice for all? That's all. Anyone else would like to try to answer this? Is our society based on democracy and justice for all? Is that what our society should be based upon? If you guys lived in a Muslim country, America's not a Muslim country, but let's just look at it like this. And in fact, for these questions, I want you guys to look at it like this. Since we don't live in a Muslim country, we based ourselves within our communities. So how about this? Muslim communities are founded upon democracy and justice for all. Would you say that's true or false? Our communities are founded upon democracy and justice for all. True or false? What do you guys think?
Layla, I can't find my hand. Can you hear me?
Yes, I
I'm
can.
on my cell phone.
Yes. Go
Okay,
ahead.
no, we're not, no, that's false because we are supposed to be under a Khalifa. We're not supposed to be dealing with democracy, with truth and justice and one for all. No. I'm coming off now because I'm at a red light, okay?
Okay. Mashallah. Did you guys hear Sister Anissa's answer? Jamila, what's wrong with this statement is our society and communities are not founded on democracy at all. Do you guys know what democracy is? Who can tell us what is democracy? Do you guys know what democracy is?
No.
Okay.
No, I need to look that word up. I'm sorry.
Okay. Democracy means what's best for the people, what the people want. America is a country based on democracy. Okay. You have different types of, two different types of governments. A democracy, which is what's beneficial for the people based on what the people like, or you have a republic. A republic is where the government rules, not caring what the people think. Okay? As Muslims, we don't believe in democracy. Okay? We believe in one leader, as she said, one ruler. And that ruler having the ability to make decisions based on the Quran and Sunnah for all of us. You understand now, Jamila? So that's why this statement is false. America has a check and balance. America, is a democracy where people have the freedom. People have the freedom to vote. People have the freedom to speak. People have the freedom to do and say what they want. Is that what we're about as Muslims? Are our countries and communities governed that way? Are they supposed to be governed that way? Do we have freedoms like that? No. Everything we do is sanctioned by a law. Does everyone understand that?
Yes.
And this is why a lot of Muslims in America and other Western countries get it twisted. We end up adapting Western ideologies that contradict Islam. We end up adapting Western thoughts that contradict Islam. And this is why you will hear Muslims making statements like how they think stoning a person for adultery is a sin. They think it's bad to stone a person. Allah made the law that for the adulterer, the person found guilty of adultery is stoning. Who are you and me to say that we think that that is unjust? How can you call yourself a believing Muslim when you're saying that Allah is oppressive? And this is the problem. We adapt these Western theories and Western ideologies that contradict Islam. Everybody understand? Our government is not based on a democracy. We believe in a caliphate. We believe in one ruler ruling by the Quran and the Sunnah, making decisions based on that. Does everybody understand? Okay?
Yes.
So this statement is false. Okay, our societies and communities are not supposed to be founded on that. The big problem here in America, the role of an imam. Instead of the imam having the authority to control the community, we have boards now. We've adopted this American democracy, this American ideology, whereas the imam can be vetoed, the imam can be overruled. That's not Islam. You can't overrule the leader. Does everybody understand that? This is why I tell you guys, be careful dealing with politics. Okay, because the politics here in America is totally against Allah's rules, Allah's laws. Everybody understand that? That's why when you guys send me videos about these Somalian women who are running for offices and who have gained political positions, I tell you, this is trash for a lot of reasons. First of all, she's a woman. What is she doing? Dealing in politics. She needs to go home, take care of her family, her children. That's the job of the woman. Okay. Number two, what is she doing advocating something that totally contradicts Islam? We have to know our limits as Muslims when you're living in the West. We have to learn how to be a part of the West, but distance ourselves from that which contradicts our morality and our lifestyle. Does everybody understand that? And I find it strange that the people that come to America and take on these type of political positions, they come from countries that are Muslim countries, because they know in their countries they wouldn't be allowed to do that. Okay? All right. Any questions about that answer? All right, let's look at the next question. What about this? This statement: Islamic society is based on Islamic law and majority rule. Is that statement true or false? Islamic society is based on Islamic law and majority rule. Is that statement true or false? Go ahead, Qadi. Qadi? Your hand is up. Go ahead.
Sorry, I thought I was unmuted. It's based on Allah's ruling and regulations, not majority, not anyone else's.
So is this true or false?
False.
Okay. Anybody disagrees with her? Anybody else? Go ahead, Zarina.
I don't disagree. It is false. The majority could be wrong. So it's just Islamic law is what Allah tells us, what Allah legislates, not what everybody else is saying.
Exactly. What's wrong with this statement is majority rule. What's wrong with this statement is majority rule. In Islam, guys, we don't deal with the majority. Who cares about what the majority wants? Why is it that we don't deal with the majority, Sister Sabrine?
Well, we live in a society, the majority is like saying that everybody, the majority of people, if it's a majority, they're right. I don't know if I'm framing this
What's wrong? How does that contradict Islam?
because the majority could be people who are going against the laws of Allah.
Exactly, guys. We don't believe in the majority rule. At least we're not supposed to. Allah tells us in the Quran that the majority of the people are going to be in hell. So if we follow what the majority rule, we'll be in hell. The majority of Muslims today do not understand their religion. For example, because they don't understand their religion, if you go to most Muslim countries, you will find that the majority of the women in many of those countries don't wear hijab. So because the majority of women don't want to wear hijab, that means that it should be lawful for a woman to not wear one. Does everybody see where we're going with this? So this is another thing. The Western countries like America goes with the majority rule. America legalized homosexuality because the majority approved it. America legalized alcohol because the majority approved it. Some states in America have legalized marijuana. Why? Because the majority approved it. Does this mean that these things are good and clean? No, all those things are bad and dirty. All those things are haram. So in Islam, we could care less about what the majority wants. Everything we do is based on what Allah says and what the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam ruled. Does everybody understand that? Who cares about the majority? If the majority of the women want to take off their clothes and walk around naked, that's their problem. It ain't happening. It's haram. It ain't gonna happen. If the majority of the men want to get drunk, that's their problem. It's not gonna happen. Does everybody understand that? So again, that's what's wrong with that statement there, the majority rule. Our society, our communities are not based on the majority rule. They're supposed to be based on Islamic law, and that's it. What Allah rules, whether you like it or not. Everybody understand that? Any questions on that? Any questions on that? Okay. All right, let's look at the next question. What about this? If there are problems in leadership, in other words, if we have problems with our leaders in Islam, in an Islamic society, if we have problems with our leadership, what should we do? Should the true people of knowledge be brought in to advise and counsel and guide? Or should the people rebel against the leaders and appoint new ones? Or should the people just break away from the community altogether and go make another one? Or can any of the above be done? In other words, it's okay to do any of the above. What do you guys think? Who's got their hands up? Let me see. Oh, we got some hands up here. Go ahead, Khadijah. Go ahead.
It's the first one.
Okay. So Khadijah said if there are problems within the community amongst the leaders, She said the true people of knowledge should be brought in to advise. Why come we can't do the second one or the third one, Sister Khadijah? Anyone? What's wrong with the second solution or the third solution? Can anyone answer?
It is best for the sheikh or the scholar to come in and make those corrections, and not just the people making corrections like that, because that causes a lot of confusion.
Okay, is there any dalil? Because remember, everything that we do, our life, our society is based on Quran and Sunnah. Is there anything from the Quran and Sunnah that says that we can't do number 2 or number 3? Go ahead, sisters. Sakina.
Yes, assalamu alaikum. You can't make like your own and go your separate ways, because it'll cause division within the community. So whatever problems that you may have, if you can't take it up with the leaders of the community, then, like the sister said, you're supposed to reach out to the higher up, like the scholars, to come in and or someone or an alim, like someone of higher status of knowledge or something, to to step in and reach out to them and talk to them. And this was said by the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I believe, as far as with causing the division.
Exactly. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us in numerous hadiths, guys. He told us in numerous hadiths. Number 1, Allah tells us in the Quran that we're one nation, one ummah. We're supposed to hold on to the rope of Islam all together. Be one nation, one ummah, one community. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said Shaitan wants us to divide and break off from each other. He said, don't do that. Don't break off. He said, stick to the community. Stick to the traditional community of Muslims, even if you have to do so with your molar teeth. And in regards to the second answer, the Prophet also said, he forbids us, it's haram in Islam for us to rebel against our leaders. Okay? As long as your leaders are praying, we cannot rebel against them. We're supposed to advise them and encourage them. And the way that we do that, as you guys said, is by bringing in the people of knowledge, the true people of knowledge, to advise and remind them. But we don't break off and go form our own communities, because that's what Shaitan wants. Nor do we rebel against our leaders. Okay? So mashallah, the correct answer, as you guys said, is the first one. And that's the same here in America. We have a lot of divisions within the communities here in America. People get angry and go break off and make another mosque. No, if you're having problems with the leadership in your community, then you need to call in the scholars to come in and help. The people of knowledge to come in and advise. The same way that Sheikh Atlee did for that community in North Carolina. They were going through some problems. Sheikh Atlee went in there and advised. Okay? All right, good job. Let's look at the next question. Allah says, in the interpretation of the meaning, verily this community of yours is one single community, since I am the sustainer of you all, then be conscious of me. This verse of the Quran is the evidence or the dalil for which of the following? Number one, Muslim countries should not be ruled by a monarchy. Number two, Muslim nations should not break off into individual countries with separate leaders, such as presidents and the likes. Number three, Muslim countries should not rule by separate, oh, this is the same, separate leaders. I don't know what happened, the word didn't show up. Number four, Muslims should not make elections and special terms for the head of each country. Number five, all of the above. That one verse of the Quran is the dalil for which of those statements? What do you guys think? Think about it for a second while I put some water on for some tea. Let's see, who's got some hands up here? Sister Sabrine? Which one? Go ahead. Go ahead. Sabrine?
I would say all of the above.
Okay, do you guys agree with her? She said all of the above. That verse, verily this community of yours is one single community. Be conscious of me. Does this verse imply that Muslim countries should not be ruled by a monarchy? That Muslim nations should not break off into separate individual countries with separate leaders, such as presidents and the likes? That Muslims should not make elections and special terms for the head of each country? Y'all agree with her answer? She said it's all of the above.
Yes.
Yes, I do.
Yes, mashallah. This is correct, guys. That's correct. And as you can see, we've already done that. Okay? As Muslims and as Muslim nations, we've already innovated in this. You know, again, we're supposed to have one caliphate, one ruler. That's not going to happen until the Mahdi comes back. We already know that. This does not mean that you or I should go around trying to form a caliphate. This is ignorance. We already know that this is not going to happen until the Mahdi comes. And as the Prophet Muhammad said, you know, he will form that caliphate in one night. Allah will help him to do it in one night. So we've already innovated in this, you know, and divided and separated. The Muslim lands already allowed Shaitan to get the better of them and cause us to divide and separate and make different countries with different rulers, different presidents, and all this crap. Okay? So this innovation is in existence now, and it's going to stay that way until the Mahdi comes back. All right? Okay, look at the next question. Abdullah is Muslim, but never discusses Islam with his family because he feels he needs to work on understanding the religion himself first. Is this correct for him to believe and do? Yes or no? Abdullah's Muslim, but he never discusses Islam with his family because he feels that he needs to work on understanding Islam himself first. Is this correct? Yes or no? Go ahead, Zarina.
No, this is actually not correct because in the Sunnah, in the Sahabas, the Prophet and the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, they spoke to the people about Islam as well as in their actions and how they interacted with people.
Exactly, guys. This is innovation. Okay? It's still our responsibility to invite others to Islam. You know, we invite them through our actions, and through our tongue too. If you convert to Islam, you want to make dua for your family, but you also want to try to tell them about Islam in hopes that they'll convert and become interested in it too. Okay? The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us in an authentic hadith, whatever we learn, even if it's one word, we're supposed to go and spread it, share it with others. Anything that you learn, even if it's one word, we share it with others. So this is a bidah, an innovation, to think that, oh, well, I don't have to teach the non-Muslims, or explain Islam to them at all. I'm just going to focus on myself. This is not the true dawah. Does everyone understand? Okay. All right. What about this question? If a person is interested in learning Islam, we begin with teaching them the importance of the prayer and the importance of calling upon Allah for your sins. Is this statement true or is this statement false? Who would like to handle this one? Go ahead, Sister Mina.
I think it's false. You want to teach the person about Allah first, because a person is not going to want to say their prayers or do anything if they don't know about Allah. You have to build the faith by learning about Allah first.
MashaAllah, you got any evidence? You guys need to remember the hadiths too, because remember, our way of life is based on dalil. There's hadiths. Anyone can remember? Does anyone have any dalil? Any dalil that for a person interested in Islam, the first thing we teach them is about Allah? Does anyone have any dalil? Habiba, go ahead. Fahmy, go ahead.
When the Prophet sent Mu'adh to teach the people in Yemen, he told them first teach them about faith, teach them to believe in Allah, and then teach them about the prayers. Those are the first things he did first.
Exactly. When the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam sent Mu'adh as the first ambassador, the first messenger of the Muslims to the people, the non-believers of Yemen, he told them, teach them about Allah and what it means to believe in Allah. And only after they understand that, then teach them about the prayer. Okay? So if your family, for example, is interested in Islam, you're not going to sit there and talk to them about polygamy. You're not going to sit there and talk to them about that type of stuff. You're going to talk to them about Allah, His names, His attributes, His mercy, His forgiveness, His punishment, paradise, hell. You want to talk to them about things like that, to soften their hearts to Allah and give them some type of idea as to what Allah is all about. Everybody understand that? Is that clear to everybody? Good job, Sister Pamela. Okay, good job. Let's look at the next question. What about interfaith? Is interfaith participation a good thing to do or not? Who would like to answer that? Is interfaith participation a good thing to do or not? Who wants to answer and tell me why? Why it is or why it is not? Go ahead, Sister Hadia, too.
No, it's not a good thing because it's like you're validating the other religions, whereas Islam is the only religion we're supposed to be like following.
Exactly. That's one good reason. Okay. There is no interfaith. We don't believe in that. By the way, guys, do we worship the same God as the Jews and Christians? Do we all worship the same God?
No.
No, we don't. But you hear a lot of these Muslim speakers saying that we all worship the same God. No, we don't. We don't worship the same God. You know, how can there be interfaith? How can we sit around and come together and accept each other's ideology? I can't accept the fact that you worship something other than Allah. I can't accept the fact that you are into homosexuality. I am not going to sit here and accept the fact that you don't believe in marriage, that it's okay to live together and fornicate. Interfaith, this is garbage. And we should, as Muslims, should not take part in it. But unfortunately, the masjids here in America are all into the interfaith. Okay. Let's look at the next question. How would you respond to a Muslim that tells you that due to the way Muslims have become today, we need to label ourselves with terms such as Salafi, Sufi, or whatnot? How would you respond to a person that says that we need to label ourselves nowadays? How would you respond? Anyone? You guys scared to answer? Go ahead, Jamila.
I would say, the first thing I would say, I don't label myself with the other groups because they believe in different things. That is contrary to the Quran, the Sunnah, and the Hadith. I'm just a Muslim, and I believe in Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, and all the Sahabas and those that were closer to Prophet Muhammad. I believe in that, and that's what I will stick to. But as far as labor myself, I'm a Salafi, I'm a Islamic Dina, whatever they call it. No, that's not what Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, taught us. Taught us to be Muslim, being submissive to Allah.
Exactly. What a good answer. Exactly, guys. There's no need to go around labeling yourself. Okay? Allah is the one that named us Muslim. Muslim means one who submits to Allah. That's what we are. We are people who submit to Allah and His will, His laws, His book, His guidelines, His commands. Okay? You can't name yourself anything better than that. So giving ourselves titles and labels such as this is not Islam. This is a Bidah. This is not from the Sunnah. The companions didn't go around calling themselves anything other than Muslim. Okay? Good job. Good answer, Sister Jamila. What about this? Anytime a person of status makes a mistake, he or she is an innovator. Is that true or false? Think about it for a minute. Let me get my tea. Anytime a person of status makes a mistake in the deen, makes a mistake in his practice, he or she is an innovator. Is this true or false? What do you guys think? Sister Shukri. Sister Shukri, true or false?
This is false.
You guys agree? Yes, this is correct. And this
Yes.
is something that we have to be careful of, guys. Labeling people innovators just because they make a mistake in their Aqidah. Before we label a person, oh God, look how it's snowing. It's snowing out there. Before we label a person an innovator, there are certain steps that we're supposed to go through. Who can tell us what are those steps? For example, if Jamila came in here and she introduced something new into this religion, she told me that she celebrates Maulid. I can't just call her an innovator. What are the steps we have to do, guys? Can anyone tell me? Do I just say, oh, Jamila's an innovator? She's a deviant. She celebrates the Prophet's birthday. Plus, she celebrates her own birthday. Why come I just can't label her that? No one knows? Anyone? Facebook? Okay. First of all, guys, my goodness. A lot of people innovate and they don't even know that what they're doing is innovation. Look at many of you. Many of you come to this website and you ask me questions. This is what your culture does. My father does. My mother does. So I did it too. You didn't know that it was an innovation. I can't sit here and say, oh, you're an innovator. I can tell you that what you're doing is innovation. Hold on for 1 second. I got to take this call. Okay, guys, I'm sorry. I had to take that call. But what were we talking about? Yeah, what is the procedure that we go through when a person innovates? A lot of people innovate, guys, and don't know it. Just like when a lot of you come here and you were doing things, just like a lot of you, for example, when you recite the Tashahhud, look how many of you were calling the Prophet Muhammad as master, when we don't refer to anyone as being master over us except Allah. You guys didn't know that. That's what you were taught. So we just can't sit there and say you're an innovator. You know, when we find a person doing something that they shouldn't do, we have to sit down. They have to sit with the people of knowledge, and the people of knowledge talk to them about it. The people of knowledge explain to them that what they're doing is wrong. Now, after being explained that what they're doing is innovation, if that person still continues to think that what he's doing is okay, then it's upon the people of knowledge to give him to say that he's the innovator. Okay, not you or me. You guys get that? So we don't go around calling people innovators because they're doing innovative things. Because most people innovate and don't know it. Okay? Does everybody understand? You have to have those people sit with the people of knowledge so the people of knowledge can talk to them and explain to them that what they're doing is wrong. So how would you handle that in a community, for example? Let's say in your Islamic community, there is a brother who twirls around in circles. You know that this is innovation. So what you should do is go to the imam of your community and let him know that this brother here thinks it's okay to twirl in a circle. And then what would happen is the imam will sit down with that brother, talk to him, advise him, counsel him, and let him know that what he's doing is innovation. And if that brother fails to acknowledge the sunnah, then the imam would be the one to say, well, the brother is an innovator and we've explained everything to him, but he still doesn't want to accept it, then he would let him go his way. But it's not for you or me. Does everybody understand that? Does everybody understand that? That's the way we deal with innovations. But we do not go around calling people innovators, just like we don't call people hypocrites. A person may have the behavior or the character of a hypocrite, but we don't go around telling that person you're a hypocrite, because that's cursing that person. It's the same as calling that person a kafir, because a hypocrite is a kafir. Okay? So we have to be careful using these type of terms with one another. Okay, let's look at the next question. Which of the following is not true? Which of the following is not true? The Jamaat Tablighee believe that they must clean their own house before calling anyone else to it. The Jamaat Tablighee do not change their method of calling the people to Islam. The Jamaat Tablighee, their method of calling to Islam is based on 6 points. The Jamaat Tablighee use the same material over and over and never deviate away from it. The Jamaat Tablighee use authentic hadith, or all of the above is false. Which one of those answers is correct? I mean, which of the following is not true about the Jamaat Tablighee? Which of those answers is not true about the Jamaat Tablighee? Anyone? Do you have any hands up? Come on, guys. What do you think? Sister Kadiato. Sister Kadiato. Which of those is not true concerning the Jamaat Tablighee? Say it again. Kadiato? Her mic messed up. Okay, Isra, go ahead.
I would say they do not use the one that's not true is the one that says they use the authentic hadith.
Exactly. They do not use authentic hadith, guys. All those statements are true except that one. The Jamaat Tablighee, they use a lot of fabricated hadiths or weak hadiths. They use a lot of Mishkat. They use a lot of Abu Dawood that's not authentic. Okay, that's fabricated. Okay, so we have to be careful dealing with these people. Okay, so most of the hadiths they use are not authentic. Let me give you an example. You will hear them say hadiths such as paradise. Paradise lies at the foot of the mother. That is hadith is so famous. And the Jamaat Tablighee say it all the time. That hadith is not authentic. That hadith is not authentic. The Prophet did not say that paradise lies at the foot of the mother. Okay? But so many people believe it is authentic because they've come upon Jamaat Tablighee who use that hadith. Okay? Also, another hadith, they'll say that of all the things that Allah dislikes, the thing he dislikes the most is divorce. How many of you have heard that? People will tell you, oh, you shouldn't get divorced, sister, because Allah hates divorce. That hadith is not authentic either. It's a fabricated hadith. Allah does not dislike anything that he made lawful. In fact, Allah tells us the only things that he disliked are the things he made haram. So this is another example of a hadith that the Jamaat Tablighee use. Oh, Allah hates divorce. That's not true. That's not even authentic. It's fabricated. So you have to be careful with these people. They use a lot of fabricated hadith. Okay, so those are some of the things that we talked about politics and about the Jamaat Tablighee. I want you guys to know, not everything that appears to be good or appears to be a good thing is a good thing. When we see these Muslims in America running for political positions, running for political appointments, this is nothing to praise them for. This is nothing to be happy for. This is a problem, because it's showing that these people have problems in their aqidah. They don't understand that democracy totally contradicts Islam. Okay? They don't understand that the majority rule contradicts Islam. But you guys are praising these people for their council seats and for their judicial seats here in America. Be careful. Be careful. All right, I'm going to stop right here. Are there any questions about any of these points that we went over today? Any comments about any of these points that we went over today on this quiz? Okay, tomorrow for the book, we're going to be continuing. And I want you guys to continue tomorrow. Read ahead. See where we stopped off at. Yeah, taking arms against them. Okay, we're going to take it after the Jamaat Tablighee. We're going to go to page 66. So you're going to start on page 66 for tomorrow. We're going to speak about Bidah in regards to celebrating birthday. Celebrating the birthday of the Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And guess what? That will end this book. So we only have that left in the book, guys. The last chapter, which speaks about celebrating birthdays, how this is a bidah. So make sure you guys read that, and tomorrow we're going to discuss it. And then I'm going to give you some more information about innovation. We're going to talk about how to recognize it. How can we tell if a person is innovating or not? We're going to talk about that. So I'm going to stop right here for today. Let me remind everybody, Dr. Assam has canceled his classes for this weekend. Okay. He's got something to do. So my class will be at 6 o'clock tomorrow as well, because tomorrow he's not going to be here for the Quran Tajweed. So it'll be my class at 6 as well. Okay. So I'll be logging back in tonight at 11 for the Hadith Qudsi. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.